I'm Sam Lyons, and I want to welcome you to Best Beginner Guitar Lessons. If you're new to the guitar and you're looking for some tips and tricks and some free lessons on how to learn to play the guitar, then you've come to the right place. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, all you have to do is hit the little red button below, and if you will be subscribed to the channel, be sure and click the little bell there also, and that way you'll be notified each time I put a new video up here on YouTube. But you'll find a lot of free lessons here, a lot of good tips, a lot of good tricks for people starting out on the guitar, people that have been playing just a little while possibly. A lot of good lessons, a lot of good song lessons, just a lot of good stuff for you. So subscribe while you're here. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different than what I normally do, and I'm going to try to do this every Friday. I get asked questions every day from students who are just starting out. They have questions about this or that, and I thought it would be a good way on Friday to address and answer some of these questions that will help them with their problem, and by answering their question, you may have a similar problem, and it will help you also. So I've decided to do this, like I say, every Friday. I'm going to take some of the questions that I get on a daily basis. I'm going to put them together, and I'm going to answer them here every Friday, once a week. Before I do that, though, I want to address two things, give you two really good guitar tips. When you're first starting out on playing chords, one of the real most important things is you have to have your fingernails trimmed. So many people don't realize that, and a lot of teachers don't address that. And I've been teaching guitar over 40 years. I've taught thousands of students. And I always stress when you first start, keep your fingernails trimmed. Because that allows you, when you go to press your strings down to the fretboard, your fingernail's not in the way, pushing up where you're not getting good pressure, so you get dead tones. So, real good tip. Keep the fingernails clipped sharp. One other thing, in relation to making the chords sound good, making the notes sound clear, is when you go to press, you'll want to use the very tip of your finger, not the soft pad inside, the very tip, right underneath your fingernail, and you just press straight down. And when you're making your chords, you want to try to keep your elbow just kind of laying, straight down, not way out here, because the further out you get, you'll see your fingers starting to move away, and when you do that, they'll touch the string next to the one you're playing, and when you're making chords, you'll get dead tones, dead sounds. So keep that in mind. Tip of your finger, and also keep your fingernails trimmed. And one other thing, always keep your guitar in tune. Get your electronic tuner. You can get them very inexpensive, but they work great. I like the little clip-on kind they clip on right here on the headstock. Just clip on, and you can hit each string. It tells you when that string's in tune, and you just go right on down, check your tuning. Always have your guitar in tune, because there's nothing worse than practicing on a guitar that's out of tune. Okay, let's look at some questions here that I've gotten this week, and I'll try to answer them and hopefully help you and whoever sent the question in. Number one, how much should I practice per day? That's a question I get asked almost every day. How much should you practice? When you're first starting out, one of the biggest mistakes many people make, I shouldn't say most, but many, they try to sit down and practice too much each time. When you're first starting out, the key when you're first starting out is to practice about 10, 15, 20 minutes a day. That's it, no more. Because what happens if you sit down and play an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, your fingers are going to get so sore, your hand's going to get tired, and your fingers, like I said, will get so sore you won't be able to press the strings down, and you'll get discouraged right away. So 10, 15 is what I recommend. 20 minutes if you have it. I'd say 6 days a week if you can. practicing each day a little bit like that is better than practicing an hour or 2 hours every 3 or 4 days, because it's the muscle memory you're developing when you're playing your chords starting out. And every time you start practicing on the guitar, do it regularly each day, you'll see that you'll be able to, in no time at all, be able to say, well, you're going to play a G chord, reach up there and grab the G. Instead of when you're first starting out, like everyone does, you one string at a time. When you press them down, you place them one at a time. If you continue to practice on a daily basis, you'll see you'll just be able to jump up there and grab the chord, just like that. So 10 to 20 minutes a day. Let's see, number 2. I don't seem to be improving, even though I've had my guitar for a week. I've even practiced twice. So what am I doing wrong? Now that's a very good question. Sounds like this person is wanting to go and just plow through this stuff and expect to be playing in a matter of days. And you can get to playing pretty fast, but don't expect too much of yourself. You have to have a proper course that you can follow that will take you step by step. Like I said, I've been teaching for many, many years, and I've got a course that I teach step by step that will take you from one lesson to the other in a chronological order to where you'll learn how to play. But don't expect too much too fast. That's the key. 2 weeks is just barely getting going on the guitar. So, Bob, on this one, don't try to expect too much from yourself. Just take your time. What I recommend is learning just a few chords, 3 or 4 chords. Concentrate on those chords. Learn them very well, being able to play them, and change from one to the other. And then take those chords and find you a song or songs that have those chords in the song, and play the song, play the chords, and sing along. The quickest way to learn how to play guitar is by playing chords and songs using those chords. Quickest, and it's the easiest way. And so many people miss that. Songs and chords. And like I say, 3 or 4 to start with. 3 or 4 of the right chords, and you can play hundreds, even thousands of songs using just 4 chords. If that's what you want to do, learn guitar to be able to play songs and sing along, family, friends. That's the way you would go about it. I hope that helps. Number 3. I'm having difficulties with bar chords. Any tips? Yeah, bar chords. When starting out playing guitar, do not worry about bar chords, scales, riffs, licks, lead. That will come later. If that's what you're wanting to do, all of that will come later. Start out with open chords. C, G, D, E minor, and A minor. Open chords is what you want to start out with. The standard open chords. And there are about 10 open chords. If you learn those 10 chords, and I'll talk about those in another lesson, another video. If you learn those 10 chords and learn very well, you can play thousands of songs and pretty much do it with those 10 chords. And then you can add to your chord repertoire as time goes on. Then you can get into, once you learn how to play chords real well, you can't play bar chords until you play chords real well. So you have to learn open chords, then you can worry about your bar chords. I hope that helps. Again, don't worry about bar chords when you're first starting out. Traditional open chords. Okay. How can I increase my picking speed? Another good question. Gary talks about picking speed. And Gary, if you're brand new to the which I assume you are, what you want to concentrate on is learning songs that you like using chords. I can't stress that enough. You know, picking and playing lead is great. It's wonderful. If you want to do this kind of thing, that's fine. But don't start trying to do that. Start trying to play chords, open chords, and learn songs using those open chords. Like I say, first start with about 4 chords. Learn those real well, then expand. And once you get up to about 10 chords, of course, you have to know the chords, the right chords. And I'll talk about that in another video. And there's some videos here on my YouTube channel already that will discuss what chords you need to learn. But don't worry about picking right now in the beginning. You can do that once you learn your chords and learn how to play chords with songs. You can always go and start learning picking. Whatever you want to do is in the way of picking. But it's not the way to start. I've had many students come and take lessons, and they tell me they can play guitar. And I said, well, play me a song. And they said, well, I don't know any songs. And they can just do a little riff of a song, individual notes, playing them up down the neck, and not even be able to play a song. Very discouraging, because you can play riffs and licks all day long. But until you start playing songs and strumming open chords with those songs and singing along, having fun, that's what it's all about. So start with chords. Start with open chords, 3 or 4 chords to start with. Add to those chords once you get to playing them smooth and even, where you can just change from one to the other. Smooth and even, and making the chords sound right. Don't start with picking or learning notes, chords, and songs. Keep it simple, and you'll learn how to play in no time at all. How can I learn to change chords better? Well, going back to what I just said, if what you want to do is take about 4 chords and take those chords and learn them, like the C chord, okay, or the D, and the G, and the E minor. Those 4 would be good to start with. G, C, D, and E minor. Learn those 4 chords. Learn them well, and you will be able to play guitar, play hundreds, even thousands of songs just with 4 chords. Those 4 chords, G, E minor, C, and D. That's all it's going to take. You'll be able to play, like I say, thousands of songs. Add a few more chords, start building your song list, and that's the way you want to learn. And as you do that, again, you want to take 2 chords at a time, say G and C, and you just want to go from one to the other. Strum down like this. G, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, G. And get to where you're using downstrokes to start with, about 4 beats per chord. 2, 3, 4, C, 3, 4, G, and continue to do that until you can just move from one chord to the other freely and evenly, where all the fingers are moving together, and then drop it right back down on the strings they need to go to. But to begin with, you'll probably be having to place 1 finger at a time, which all of us do. I did back when I first started 40 years ago. It's pretty much the same for most everybody. Place them 1 at a time. Natural, normal. But it won't take long if you practice 10, 15, 20 minutes a day. Focus in on just a few chords. Keep it simple, keep it focused in, and you'll be able to play in no time at all, and be able to play your chords sounding clear. Going back to the tips I gave you in the beginning, fingernails cut short, and playing the chords, each string on the tip of your finger, straight down. Keeping the elbow kind of next to your body, pressing straight down on the string. You'll be playing chords in no time at all. Be able to change from one to the other in no time at all. Should I learn on acoustic or electric? And there's no real good answer to that. I learned on electric guitar many years ago. A little inexpensive electric guitar. And electric guitar, generally easier to play. Of course, it's got a smaller body. The strings are generally closer to the neck. It's got usually a slimmer, different taper type neck to where it's easy to get around, and the pressure that you have to place on the strings to make them play is much lighter and easier. So like I say, it just really doesn't matter. If you just starting out, you haven't bought a guitar yet, I would say either one would be good. Electric's a little easier to play, like I say. When you're first starting out, you'll find it a little softer on the fingers and a little easier to get around on the neck. But I personally like the acoustic guitar because I can take it with me and I have to worry about an amp, lugging the amp around with me for electric guitar. So electric or acoustic, either one will work. I prefer acoustic guitar, but again, that's a personal preference. Learning theory and the notes on the fretboard is boring and discouraging me from playing. What should I do? Is there a fun way to learn theory? No, there's no fun way to learn theory. And again, I go back to my earlier answer. What you want to do is don't worry about theory, scales, lead guitar, all that sort of thing. There's a time and place for that. You'll get totally discouraged and want to quit in no time at all if that's the route you go. What you want to do, again, chords, 3 or 4 chords, G, C, E minor, D would be great. Learn those 4, change from one to the other, practice every day, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, 5, 6 days a week. I prefer 6 days a week because each day you practice, you'll see it's getting easier and easier to get to the chords, and then the chords start sounding clear. So don't worry about theory, scales, lead, picking, none of that. That, like I said, there's a place for that. That's what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not the way to learn to play the guitar. You want to learn songs and chords, and the main reason for that is it's a quicker way to learn, and you're going to get a lot more enjoyment by sitting down when you go to practice to be able to play chords and songs. And you'll see, you'll realize, I really can do this. You'll be learning a lot quicker, and it won't be near the frustration if you try to do, like I say, theory or chord, licks or scales, anything like that. Chords, 3 or 4 to start with, and songs you know, take the chords, play them into song. That's the way you go about it. Again, keeping it very, very simple. Okay, one more question here. I want to learn to sing and play guitar. How would I go about that? First of all, you want to learn to play 4 to 10 chords. You want to learn your chords first. Learn again, 4 chords. Keep it simple. Be able to play them well where you can move from one to the other and keep them sounding good. And then once you get your 4 chords down and you're able to move from one to the other, again, you want to use downstrokes. It's like this. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the way you want to practice. And you can mix the chords up. If you're using the G, C, D, and E minor, you can mix them up in any order. They're in the same key of G, so it doesn't matter what order you play them in. Sit down and play them and mix them up. Get used to playing them. Get used to getting from one to the other with all fingers moving at one time, where you don't have a delay and putting one finger down at a time. And that's the way you start, but in a matter of couple of weeks, you'll be able to play those chords just by thinking about G. Your fingers will jump to them just like that, just like you see what I'm doing here. So, again, singing is great. I recommend it. I love to sing, but I don't sing real well. But I love playing guitar, and I love singing along with it. Have a lot of fun doing it. I've been doing it for many, many years, and I'm having more fun now than ever before. But singing is great. Like I say, I don't discourage it, but learn your chords, learn them real, real well, and then put them to a song. Then you start singing and playing along. sing along with the chords. I hope you've enjoyed this. Like I said, I'm going to try to do this every Friday and take questions I get during the week and address those questions. Help whoever sent the question in, and it may help others too. Might be the same problem that you or others are having, and I'll be able to help a lot of people with this sort of platform, being able to answer questions once a week here on my YouTube channel. If you have a question, by all means, leave them down in the comment section below. Tell me what kind of problems you're having or what you would like to know about your beginning guitar lessons, what troubles you're having. If you're doing something and you've learned something new this week and you learned it good and it's a little small win for you, leave that down there. I'd like to hear from you and see how things are coming along with your lessons. You know, like you learned how to tune with a tuner this week, or you played the C chord clear, that sort of thing. Things that you're doing, that you're making progress. I'd love to hear from you. Again, questions. Any problem, anything you want to ask about that you're having trouble with on learning guitar, I'll be glad to help. Just put them down in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel here. Click the subscribe button, and you have a little bell. Click that bell, and you're going to be notified every time I put up another video. Besides my question and answers on Fridays, I put up videos most every week, either on chord lessons or tips and tricks or songs. I've got quite a few songs here for beginners that you can learn. So again, check them out while you're here. Be sure to subscribe. If you like what I'm doing here, be sure to give me a thumbs up here also. Till next week, let's go play some guitar.